It's the Arizona Daily Star's Match Play Video Extra, the Sunday morning edition, brought to you by Fry's Food Stores. I'm Star Sports editor Ryan Finley here with Daniel Berk. Daniel, it's early, but it's a big day of golf here at Dove Mountain.
Yeah, I mean this is a blast. This Sunday with the 36 holes. You're playing 36 holes whether you win or lose in that first one, and it's a long day for these guys, but it's a lot of fun. And we have four really good accomplished golfers, and it's going to be neat to see what happens.
Yeah, let's break down these two matches real quick. In the first semifinal, you see Jason Day squaring off against Ricky Fowler, probably the odds-on favorite to win the whole tournament. Jason Day is the highest seed left, versus Ricky Fowler, a guy who just keeps taking down good golfers.
Yeah, I think, it seems like the logical pick, like you just said, is Jason Day because of how much success he's had here and how well he's played this week. But, gosh, it's hard to pick against Ricky Fowler. I mean, the guy just has taken down some huge names this week. And you just, he had missed 3 cuts coming into it and just seems to have discovered his swing and having fun. And I think it's 2 versus number 14, and it would make a lot of sense to pick Jason Day, but I just kind of like the upset in this one. I like Fowler to kind of pull one more out of his hat.
Well, I disagree. Jason Day is a guy who's been tearing through this field this week. I love his attitude. He brings that kind of, he doesn't let you into it. He won't even pretty much acknowledge his opponent when he plays. And, is that great public relations? No, but it's great golf. And we've seen over the years guys who have that kind of football attitude. Ian Poulter was
right.
Like that.
Absolutely.
Eldrick Tiger Woods has made a career
yeah.
of being like that. Jason Day, to me, is the man to beat heading into the final day of the tournament here. Real quick, let's move on to the other semifinal match. Our many viewers in France and South Africa will love this one. Ernie Els takes on Victor Dubuisson. Both upset picks throughout the week here, and one of them is going to advance to the final.
Again, I like the upset here, which is Els. I really like the way he's playing. He's just kind of in his zone. I think his bad golf is behind him because he didn't play great early on, and I think he's really starting to groove. And I just like him to get by Victor. Now, I've been wrong pretty much every time you've asked me for a prediction so far this week, and our viewers are probably thinking, boy, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. So if I'm picking, Fowler and Els, it probably means they're both going to lose. But I just like the upsets, this morning.
All of our French viewers are, Mon Dieu! Banging the table because Daniel Berk has picked against France's favorite son, Victor Dubuisson. We learned something about him today, Daniel. His uncle or his grandfather?
Yeah, his uncle is like the greatest French basketball player in history. He's not Boris Diaw,
right?
but apparently he's a great hooper, and so Victor's trying to do him proud.
What interests me about Victor too is you look at him, he doesn't seem like a big guy or particularly strong guy, but he is huge off the tees. He beat Bubba Watson in the Friday match, and he did it by almost outdriving Bubba, who is the PGA Tour's premier distance guy off the tees.
And he doesn't look like a golfer. He's got the long hair. He's not in the best of shape like some of these other guys. Not that I should be talking, but here he is, and he's hitting it long, like you said, hitting greens in regulation, making big putts, and that's how you win this thing.
It's a guy like a Victor Dubuisson who will sneak up and win an event like this every couple of years, just because he's hitting fairways and greens and is long off the tees and is making the other guy make plays.
Yeah, and it would certainly be a change from the last 2 years when you got Hunter Mahan and Matt Kuchar, 2 Americans who are ranked high, and I think everybody knew who they were. And then even before that, Luke Donald and Ian Poulter are 2 well-known names. So this would certainly be a different feel than what's happened here recently.
But stylistically, it would fit more in line with what we've seen from even going back to Jeff Ogilvy. Just a guy who puts the pressure on the other guy and doesn't make any mistakes. I will say this about Victor. We haven't talked about him much this week, I think, because we kind of figured he'd go away.
Yeah.
And, he continues to prove us, and I think the golf world, wrong. And what a story it would be if, little Victor Dubuisson rallies tomorrow and wins, $1.58 million and skyrockets up the world golf rankings.
Well, give yourself a little credit because you wrote about him earlier this week, and you've been all over this guy. So maybe you saw it coming. I certainly didn't, and it's just a different deal. But here he is, and it'll be interesting to see how he fares this morning against Els.
Absolutely. A big breakfast of blood sausage and croissants for Victor this morning, I'm sure. Daniel, today we could find out something very important about the future of the match play event here in Southern Arizona. We'll recap what we've been talking about all week. Basically, Accenture seems to be getting out of the golf sponsorship game, and that could leave this tournament without a very lucrative sponsor, and they could look to take this event somewhere else. Daniel, what do you think we're going to learn today, if anything?
Well, PGA Tour Commissioner Tim Fincham's here. He's been here all week. He was hanging around the first tee for a while today, and he's expected to make some sort of statement. It doesn't sound like he's going to take questions, but I would, it's hard-pressed to believe that he's not going to. And I don't know what we're going to learn, to be honest with you. Like I said earlier, you get the vibe that this is the last year. I still think it. I don't think we see this event here next year, but I also don't think we're going to hear anything definitive today from him. Probably just the status quo of, hey, we're still working on things and we're not sure where it stands. But it's going to be very interesting to hear what he has to say regarding the future of the tournament because, look, forget the sponsors, forget the format, forget what the players, the fans in Southern Arizona deserve to know what's going on. And not just Southern Arizona. I mean, there's plenty of people down here from Phoenix. You talked to some people who came down to see Ricky Fowler and some other guys. And I think these fans just deserve to know what's going on with this tournament. And it would just be nice to know something from him today.
To me, it's crueler to not know than it would be if they came out and said, yeah, we're
absolutely. I know. I totally agree with you. I think that's a great point. If he would just come out and say, okay, here's what's happening, then there's some finality to it, and the conquistadors can move on and try to figure out what's next. But if they just keep delaying it, then it just, to make a baseball comparison, feels like the Tucson Padres all over again, where it's just, you kept feeling like, okay, they're here 1 year. Okay, they're here 2 years. And then you didn't know, and then all of a sudden they're gone just as you start to get attached to them. So if they would have just said it's 1 year, believe us, it would have been a lot easier.
Well, they're gone, and then they're coming back for a 4-game series here, and you throw your hands in the air and go, I thought you left us.
Right.
Yeah.
So you just don't want anything like that with this. Just give us some finality with the deal.
I think I would compare this to kind of a bad breakup. We've talked about this tournament and its future here going on the last 5 years, and it seems like every year they go, oh, maybe not, maybe it won't come back, and then it comes back, and then you go, well, is this the year that they leave? And
right.
It just seems like at some point a clean break, if there is going to be a break, is probably the best way to go.
Absolutely. Let's break up. Let's move on, and let's find out what's next. And it just feels like, yeah, like you said, it's being dragged out, and we don't know what's going on. And I think if anything, fans just want some finality to the situation today, and hopefully it comes.
Will we be doing these StarNet video extras next year from a Champions Tour event, do you think?
That's what I think is most likely. Yeah, I mean, like I said earlier in the week, and I think you agree, this is probably it. And then I think a Champions Tour event this time of year in February at a different course, not this one, is the most likely situation. So, hey, I'll do it. Freddie Couples, Davis Love III. That'd be fun. Let's do it.
Well, there's something to be said about the format of stroke play as opposed to match play. As much as we enjoy match play and as much as I think it makes for fabulous television and good in-person golf watching, this field was almost empty by the weekend.
Yeah.
If there was a Champions Tour event, it would sort of be building to a Sunday crescendo as opposed to kind of petering out Thursday or Friday.
Agreed, but I think you also always have to be careful. Look, if this was a stroke play event and Tiger Woods was here and he missed the cut, the crowds on Saturday and Sunday would have been dramatically less than what you think, even with 50 golfers still out there. So I still think the names matter. If a senior tour comes and Freddie Couples and Colin Montgomery and those guys are out by the weekend, you're going to see less crowds. But certainly I think when you come today and there's only 8 guys on the course, there's only 4 matches, and there's just not a lot to see. Whereas stroke play, you're going to have guys on all 18 holes, and it's just a different feel.
I think it'd be better to have a Champions Tour event than an encumbered PGA Tour event. I mean, talk about cruelty.
Right.
If they were to move this tournament and then hold sort of a second-rate PGA Tour event here during
I
the
don't
same
think
week
that's
as
gonna
match
happen.
play.
I don't think that'll happen. I think it's either going to be a senior tour or nothing. I don't think that, at least right now, I don't see another PGA Tour event coming here.
Well, if today is the last day, Daniel Berk, I'm glad that I'm here with you, and I'm glad that we have these 2 matches.
We're not breaking up.
No, we're not breaking up. I'm glad that we have these 2 matches because it's going to make for a great day of golf, and I'm going to give you one last chance. Daniel, who's hoisting the Walter Hagen Cup at the end of the day today?
I'm just going to be wrong again, but I'll go Ricky Fowler.
Ricky Fowler.
Why not at this point? More for the story and that I like interviewing him maybe more than anything, and I've tried going the golf route. But he's taken down some of the world's best, and I think he has 2 more wins in him.
This is Jason Day's tournament to lose, people. Trust your buddy Ryan on this one. I think he's going to be the winner at the end of the day today. Now, Daniel, you and I will be checking in after the semifinals and before the championship match. Then obviously we'll be back to recap the final match of a week of match play here at the Golf Club at Dove Mountain. You excited?
Looking forward to it, man.
Excellent. Sounds good. Well, this is the Arizona Daily Stars Match Play Video Extra brought to you by Fry's Food Stores. For Daniel Berk, I'm Ryan Finley saying, see you in the championship match.
Try this matchup. Low prices and faster checkout. You can count on it at Fry's.